Favorite album title?
They must be friends. He calls him Dave.
That would be good. Hey, Glenn, that would be good for a video idea for both of us. Top 10 favorite album titles.
That's a great one.
That's a great idea. Thank you, Cardboard Head Guy.
Okay, Cardboard Head Guy's one of my favorites.
I'm going to put down your
That's a great
name.
one. I was trying to think of a video to do this morning, and where the hell were you, Cardboard Head Guy, when I couldn't think of a thing to do? That's my video tomorrow morning.
That's my video, Glenn.
Okay, we're both going to do one.
Yeah. Actually, do you want to do it together? Record it?
No.
You want to do it yourself?
I'm the Canadian Studmuffin. This is my theme song.
Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. Yesterday, Glenn Kellaway from the basement and I did a live chat, and one of the questions was from Cardboard Head Guy, and if I remember, I'll put in the little clip here. But anyway, his question got Glenn and I thinking that would be a great idea for a video. So thank you, Cardboard Head Guy. Although I'd like to take all of the credit. And Glenn already did his video. I'll put it here if I remember. And so what I've done is I've gathered together my top 12 favorite album titles, but it also is corresponding with the album cover, usually, I think most of the time, instead of just the title. I made mine a little different than Glenn Kellaway from the Basements. And one thing I'd like to say is, if you're a well-known rock band and you started out as a heavy rock band loved by millions, later on you kind of changed your sound a bit, that's fine, but just don't do an album cover like this. All the girls in the world beware. I'd already stopped buying this might actually be the first album of theirs I didn't buy. When I saw this in the record store, I rolled my eyes and I said, oh God. So, like I said, there's 12 that I've picked. No Beatles, even though the Beatles had some great album titles. And these didn't make my top 12, but I still really think they're great titles. And like I said, usually goes along with the album cover. For instance, Steve Hackett left Genesis, and so they were down to 3 members. So they named their album. And then there were 3. And there they are. And then Steve Hackett would leave, and they should have, Steve Hackett left. The next to leave was, of course, Phil Collins, much later on. So they should have had an album, and then there were 2, although they did replace Phil. And this is a very underrated album, too, by the way. I love this album title. It doesn't really correspond at all to the album cover, but the title's kind of bizarre and freaky, and so is the album cover. Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. Very disturbing album cover. Speaking of Grand Funk, I like the simplicity of the album title and the cover. Grand Funk, and they're just saying, we're an American band. Simple and to the point. Yes, they were a great American rock band, along with Blue Oyster Cult, my favorite. What's that? Yes, I did interview Mark Farner on my channel. I'm very proud of that. Thank you. Another cool one, which matches the title matches the album cover, is Deep Purple, in rock. And there they are. Yeah, that's a very you know, they do rock music, and they're actually in rock. This one could have easily made the top 12. Very simple and to the point, and this band, you know, just the perfect album cover for them to release at the time. Alice Cooper, killer. Then a great back cover too with a snake. I only wanted to put one Sparks album in my top 12, just to share, you know, 12 different artists, but I really love this album title. And once again, it doesn't really have anything to do with the cover of the album. A woofer in tweeter's clothing. Because of course, in the early years, Russell used to, you know, sing in a falsetto, high. So that's the tweeter. And then there's pretty good bass on this too. So that's the woofer. So it's a woofer in tweeter's clothing. And their drummer, Harley Feinstein, he's tipping over Ron Mael. That's why that's blurred. And there's another picture. Before or after he tipped Ron Mael over. I actually wish this was the album cover, but it's kind of, it's different for sure. And you know, I'm sure there's many more in my CD collection, but these are the ones that stood out for me. And I'm not going to rank them, they're just my 12 of my favorites. This matches the album cover and the back cover. The Who Sell Out. You know, there's nothing worse than selling out, especially when you're a rock band. And so I love, you know, the Who saying, the Who sell out. And there's commercials on, you know, just made up commercials, but it's a very fun album and a very funny album cover and back cover. A cool album cover, and it kind of suits the title. Pink Floyd, A Saucer Full of Secrets. This band has quite a few interesting titles. This is my favorite. It's a live album. It is Blue Oyster Cult, On Your Feet or On Your Knees. And just a creepy album cover. And back cover. And gatefold. This is a very long title, and once again it doesn't match, has nothing to do with the album cover. The album cover is actually, it could have been better, but I do love the title. Faces with Rod Stewart. A nod is as good as a wink, ... to a blind horse. That should have been the album cover. I love that. And there's another Rod Stewart from his solo career. Yeah, I might just grab a picture from the internet if I remember, and it'll be here. Rod Stewart, never a dull moment. And he's just sitting there in his chair, looking so bored. So I just love the humor in that. And it's my favorite Rod Stewart album, actually. And this one, I never really caught on to the double meaning of the title. 10cc, focus, sheet music. Kind of sounds like SHIT music. Yeah, they even have a song on here called The Worst Band in the World. It's actually, you know, it's like sheet music. Actually, three play on words with it, because it could be, maybe they did, I don't know. I just think after all these years I kind of thought, I think they meant that it sounds like, you know, S-H-I-T. Now this one, I guess they couldn't have it. They do have it inside, that matching the title, but the cover really has nothing to do with the title. The Rolling Stones, Goat's Head Soup. Not one of my favorite album covers, but inside, don't worry, inside, you get a picture of Goat's Head Soup. I'm getting hungry just looking at it. That's what she said. Now this band is cool. Their first three albums all have pretty cool covers and titles. Maybe well, the first one is just self-titled, but this one is so awesome. It really matches the title. Black Sabbath, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And then the back cover is a little nicer. No, it doesn't look like he's doing that well, so maybe it's not that nice. This is my most recent, one of my most recent CDs I've bought. And it has to be included, because I remember seeing this for years and years and years. I just never checked out their music until recently. It's not Meet the Beatles, no, it's Meet the Residents. And they just did that to the original cover. And they weren't even sued. And this one is just bizarre, but it sure stands out in more ways than one. And it kind of matches the album cover, although it's a little off. This is Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band Trout Mask Replica, although I've read that, I don't know my fishes, but that supposedly isn't a trout, it's some other kind of fish. Let me know in the comments below what kind of fish that is. A carp? I think it's a carp. Yeah. And the back cover's just as strange. There's Captain Beefheart. There's 2 to go. It's time for some sparks. Again, in my top 12. And I laughed out loud when I saw this in the record store. And I didn't really understand the title at the time, because I don't think I'd ever, not sure if I'd ever heard of the word back then, but angst in my pants. And there's the two brothers, Ron and Russell Mael, getting married. This was 1982, so, you know, especially back, most people are more, well, maybe they aren't actually, but at some point things were, people had a sense of humor. But, you know, back in 1982, you know, there's a lot of gay bashing and stuff, and so for them to do something like this for the album cover was kind of brave of them. So good on Ron and Russell Mael. And the last one of the greatest songwriters, and so I love this album cover. Paul Simon, There Goes Rhymin' Simon. See, that rhymes. Yeah, so that's an excellent title. And of course the album cover and back cover relate to all of the songs within the album. And that is it. So let me know, what are some of your favorite, yeah, it can be either just song titles or song titles that have great album covers to go along with the titles. And thank you for watching, and thanks again. Cardboard Head Guy. Bye.